Welcome to the APO Productivity Talk series. I'm Armand Tristan Suratos, head of the APO DEP Secretariat at the Development Academy of the Philippines and the APO Liaison Officer for the Philippines. I'll be your moderator for today's P-Talk. In this episode, we'll be exploring a critical topic that is shaping the future of economies around the globe: premature deindustrialization. This is a growing concern for both developing and advanced economies alike. Historically, industrialization has been a major driver of economic growth and development. Economies have typically transitioned from agriculture to industry, establishing robust manufacturing sectors before eventually moving into services. But in recent decades, we have seen this process disrupted, often before the industrial sector has had the chance to fully mature. This phenomenon is known as premature deindustrialization. What makes this trend especially concerning is its potential impact on job creation, income distribution, and long term economic development. When economies move away from manufacturing too quickly, they miss out on the productivity gains and innovations that have historically fueled sustainable growth. This premature shift often leads them directly into low productivity service sectors, which may not offer the same level of resilience or wages. Today, we'll be diving into key insights from the recent APO publication, Global Perspectives on Premature Deindustrialization, Insights from APO Member Economies. In this session, we'll focus on the risks and consequences of premature deindustrialization and explore the policy implications for addressing these challenges. We are honored to have with us today Dr. J.C. Wang to guide us through this important topic. Dr. Wang is the Vice President of Chung-Hua Institution for Economic Research, or CIER, a semi-governmental economic think tank. He holds a PhD in economics from Purdue University, USA, and his research focuses on industrial economics, technology, and industrial policy. Recently, Dr. Wang has been involved in Taiwan's Chip and Science Act, helping the government design tax incentives to support digital and green transformation. He also regularly writes on current issues, including challenges facing the younger generation, low wages, and high housing costs. Thank you for giving us your valuable time, Dr. Wang. How are you today?
Fine. Hello, Tristan and honorable APO experts and scholars. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let me begin this session by inviting Dr. Wang to share his insights on global perspectives on premature deindustrialization. Dr. Wang, the floor is yours.
Okay. It's a great honor to attend this P-Talk. And the topic of my talk is global perspectives on premature deindustrialization. The framework of my presentation will be divided in 5 parts. In the first part, I will talk about the motivation and the purposes. In the second part, I will move on to talk about the literature reviews. In the third part, I will talk about the APO member economies experience. In the fourth part, I will just do a little bit discussion on policy discussion. In the final part, I will talk about the policy implication or policy suggestions. Okay, about the motivation and purposes. The definition of deindustrialization means that the share of manufacturing industries over GDP decreases, results in a decline in the employment ratio within the manufacturing industries, often lead to a lower per capita income compared with the advanced economies at similar stage of industrialization. And the concern by developing and developing economies. As for the advanced economy, because upon reaching a certain stage of development, the division of labor becomes more specialized. So some of the advanced companies probably start outsourcing activities such as advertising, marketing, and the design from the manufacturing sectors to a more service sector. So result in the increase in service sector, also a little bit thinking in the manufacturing sectors. And also because of the productivity, because of manufacturing industries apply a lot of technologies, so their productivity actually is higher than service sectors. So this higher productivity will free up a portion of the labor forces and then just move to the service sectors. So result in the service sector increase and driving up the employment with this domain. And also the impact of free trade agreements, trade arrangements, or some of the like a competitive advantage thinking result in the labor-intensive industry holding out. For instance, like in the States, because they want to look for high profit margins service sectors. So like just in IC industry, they were outsourcing the testing and packaging to Asian countries. And also another case is that because of competitive advantages, so some manufacturers will move out to look for more cheap land, labors, and some of production factors. And as for the developing economies, because some trade barriers from developed economies lead to export decline for developing economy manufacturing industries. And also COVID-19 resulted in the broken supply chain and exports. And also insufficient trained workers for manufacturing industries. So they are not able to just keep the high proportion of manufacturing industries. So the purpose of this talk includes three parts. In the first part, I will just study the risk of premature industrialization among APO member economies. In the second part, I will estimate the impact of deindustrialization on the long-term productivity performance. In the final part, I will generate the policy recommendation for industry and productivity policies. Move on to the talk about the literature review. The causes of deindustrialization is because of the rising land and labor cost, along with trade restriction and exchange rate fluctuation, so may push the industry relocate overseas. And also some of trade barrier and conflicts may result of the move out of manufacturing sectors from developing nations, impact the value added of manufacturing industries and the creation of the job opportunities. And also some of because some of developing economies, they limit participation in the international division of labor. They are not participate in the global supply chain. So inadequate external investment and the absence of trade promotion agents also undermine the competitiveness of the manufacturing sectors, leading to the decline in export, employment, and output. And also the some of environmental concern and labor regulation within the manufacturing sectors. Also the push the more jobs to transfer into the informal economy. And low income and low consumer demand have led to decline in economic growth. So I think the manufacturing sectors often offers higher wages due to automation and technology advancement. So the service sector often face the lower productivity and wages. Okay, so as long as the proportional employment with the service industries characterized by low wages may result in the reduced incomes and consumer demand, thereby contributing to a long-term productivity decrease. Okay, and then finally, will decline in economic growth. Okay, and the second reason probably is that because of some of service industry, they are not so technology intensive because most of the service industry they have more technology intensive like telecommunication service sectors or information service sector or some intellectual property service sectors. But the rest of the service industry they just doesn't have too much R&D. Their R&D capacity is low, so result in low productivity and low income. Okay, and so overall quality and efficiency of the service sector may be compromised, further hurting the economic challenges. Okay, and then the third part is that because the decline in manufacturing sectors can also broken the associate supply chain, so have a bad influence on the related industries. And also because of the service sector, maybe a little bit portions are informal sectors. So may just and this informal sector, they worry about the government crackdown or unable to afford the environmental protection and the labor safety. So they always operate at very small scale without long-term planning or development prospects. So they result in the low incomes. The fifth part is some middle income APO member states are experiencing diminishing our foreign direct investment because of if you cannot attract enough foreign direct investment, then they were not more high-tech intensive in their export sectors, so they cannot fully participate in global supply chain. So that meaning lead to the stagnation in production network development. Okay, and then talk about the APO member economies experience. I think I just used four interfaces to analyze the member states. Is whether they have deindustrialization and then some supporting data and what are the main reasons for this deindustrialization and also economic impacts, positive or negative. In terms of Bangladesh, these are hidden worries, but not for this moment. Need for more information. And what are the main reasons? Because the globalization and the industrial structure change and labor force problems. And then the employment declines, economic strength down, and the income inequalities. And as for the Cambodia, not now and not for the next few years, they just still have confidence in industrialization. The share of the manufacturing GDP or the total GDP actually increased because of Cambodia actually benefit from U.S.-China trade war and supply chain relocation, and then they attract a lot of the foreign direct investment. And as for the India, they have some deindustrialization problems, but the share of the manufacturing industry actually declines. But they doesn't consider this a big problem because the share of manufacturing industry decrease, but the service industry share increase, and also at the same time, manufacturing industries productivity actually increase. And why is that? Because the cap of the foreign capital share is limited, less than 12%. The growth rate of manufacturing industry continues decline last 20 years, but they don't worry about because the manufacturing industry productivity actually is greater than service industries and release labor force to service industries. And talk about Malaysia, yes, they think this they have deindustrialization problems because the manufacturing industry continuous decline since year 2000. However, it's improving now because the share of the manufacturing sector is decreasing since the year 2000. But and also they compare with advanced countries, advanced economy. At the same time, their manufacturing industry share is decline and the per capita GDP also relatively low. And what are the main reason is because 1985 is a commodities price decline crisis and also global financial crisis in year 2009 and also globalization in year 2019 to 2020 depressed Malaysia's manufacturing industries. So the impact is unfavorable to GDP growth and technology labor and also wage labor. In terms of Pakistan, they just from agriculture to manufacturing to service industries, they think this is not a big problem because it's a natural phenomenon because the share and the productivity of manufacturing industry decrease, but service share actually increase. The reason for this deindustrialization problem is because unstable policy, energy crisis, and the globalization and short-sighted industrial policy. So the result for us is because trade imbalance, heavily dependent on low labor manpower and service industry, and the output of manufacturing industry and GDP actually stagnant. And About the Philippines, since 1982, manufacturing industry share declined from the peak. So the share of manufacturing is declines, and by international comparison, the Philippines manufacturing industry share declined in lower per capita GDP compared with advanced economies. And what's the reason for this deindustrialization is because political incidents like Senator Aquino's assassination, resulting in the capital flight, is and also the insufficient infrastructures. So the economic impact, they have some negative impact, per capita GDP decrease, economic development slows down. And as for the Sri Lanka, it's too early to tell premature deindustrialization, even though the share of manufacturing industry declines, but service industry shares increase, but they still think that they have some time to observe. And what's the main reason for this deindustrialization? Is a skill labor shortage, lacking innovation, national innovation systems, and lacks industrial diversification. Also, the negative impact is productivity declines, innovation and technology labor decrease, challenge for employment and trade balance. Okay, and also fragile economic systems. And as for the Thailand's, yes, manufacturing industry share declines ever since year 2010. The share of manufacturing sectors decreased since that year 2010, and the global value chains, global share actually decreased since the year 2009. And what's the main reason for Thailand's deindustrialization is because China joined World Trade Organization in year 2000 to bring more competition, and unbalanced policy result in the regional unbalanced. So the economic impact is negatively like a trade growth decrease, employment decrease, international division of labor at the degree actually is decreased. And Turkey is that, yes, they have some experience, some deindustrialization in 1998 to year 2003 and 2008 to 2010, but it is improving now because the share, even though the share of the manufacturing sector productivity declines, but they have some of policy like a value add rises, employment number doesn't significantly declines, and influence long-term economic growth. But the main reason for this deindustrialization is a policy change, not to pay too much attention to manufacturing industries. Okay, then we switch to talk about the countermeasures for this economy to deal with the deindustrialization in Bangladesh. Its government policy measure is that improve infrastructures, strengthen industrial policy, export-oriented economic growth, and the future recommendation is that education, skilled labor development, strengthen infrastructure construction, investment, and technology introduction, financial support, and establish innovation cluster. In Cambodia, that they improve technology intensive industry, increase investment in automation, and they have three different policy like in the future is that supply side training, talent training, in demand side establish a public-private partnership, and also in terms of environment, they set up technology demonstration center and facilitate technology transfer. In India, is that the government use a so-called production-linked incentive plan and also Make in India initiative. So introducing more technology into the service sector to improve productivity and create more job opportunities. Okay, and then in the long term, that public procurement for SME and also logistics and supply chain integration, national industrial corridor development plan, and the plan to strengthen the components of SME. Okay, and Malaysia is revitalize the manufacturing industry, attract more foreign direct investment. In the short term, they will reduce some corporate taxes, strengthen technology innovation investment, and also improve the labor environment. And also the medium to longer term is that they have some new industrial master plan, improve the productivity through the manufacturing and innovation, and also increase the export promotion of medium and high-tech manufacturing industries. In terms of Pakistan, they have focused on some strategic industrial development policies and protect local industry and promote diversification of manufacturing industries. But they still think that the service sectors share increase not a big problem because that believe that the manufacturing and service industry are currently complementary. But however, it remains to be seen whether deindustrialization will affect long-term economic competitiveness. So they still have a policy measures in the long term, like improve labor environment, attract young people to join the manufacturing industry, tax deduction, and also some of reward new enterprises, encourage export-oriented policies. And in Philippines, that they attract FDI, but import competition really replace part of the domestic manufacturing industries, and they like to reform education, reform the electricity regulation, and but the Philippines consider information technology service business outsourcing service can become the main forces of economic growth. But however, in the increasing service sectors, exports had taken away partial manufacturers' manpower. And in the long term, they have a more technical introduction, improve the infrastructure and technical education, improve the labor qualities. And as for the Sri Lanka, they strong local area, attract foreign investment, R&D industrial policies. The productivity of service industry actually increase, but still worry about maybe deindustrialization in the long term. So they, in the long term, they have more industrial policy support, education, technical policy, infrastructure, and energy securities. And in terms of Thailand, they attract foreign direct investment, more invest in innovation, and also regional investment incentive, providing industrial zone, land, and a special economic zone and science park. Okay, and in terms of Turkey, after year 2008, manufacturing policy was strengthened and support for the manufacturing industries. The policy has been quite effective. So in the long term, they will strengthen the digital green transformation and integration into the global value chain, and also attract foreign direct investment. And we move on to talk about the policy discussion. Whether this deindustrialization or not, based on this nine economies experience, it's evident the most economies have encountered different degrees of deindustrialization. Cambodia and Bangladesh stand out as exception because they benefit the direction of global supply chain because of the U.S.-China trade war, and those country economy like Malaysia, Turkey, and Thailand have undergone deindustrialization to some degrees over time, but they are improving right now. Philippines, India, and Pakistan continue to fight with the persistent issues related to deindustrialization. And there are several factors contribute to this phenomenon of deindustrialization. First, for Asian economy, including Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, have encountered challenges such as 1997's Asian financial crisis and the global financial tsunami year 2008, and also intensified competition from China following its accession to the World Trade Organization, and government policy that have overlooked the importance of the industrialization. And economy like in South Asia, such as India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, has been affected by the combination of factors, including the global financial tsunami and internal economic shifts. And also the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020 actually just exacerbate existing challenge and persist and cause some of serious deindustrialization issues. And whether deindustrialization should consider a problem about the increasing share of the service industries. Most Southeast Asian countries, along with Turkey, express concern regarding the phenomena of deindustrialization. But however, some South Asian nations, including India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, hold a different perspective. They are not considered this is a significant concern as long as the productive levels in service sector have not experienced a market decline. But despite the current modest productivity levels, they think they can use more emerging technologies such as the AI, big data, and financial technologies to bolster the service sector's competitiveness. For example, Philippines view information service and also service a source of job opportunities. But whether the deindustrialization causes a problem, it needs more time to observe. And some certain service industry operate because in illegal or irregular work environment, such as underground economy, which may result in diminished productivities. And also, this lower productivity may lead to the unemployment. Okay, and also the service industry may have polarized the income because of in the service sectors, some of job actually is high pay, like lawyer, medical doctor, like bankers. But the rest of the jobs, like restaurant, like retail, actually they were medium to low income. Okay, and also the subtext, they have a small linkage effect, and also may lead to the reduced long-term output in employment opportunities. Okay. And also, I'm just talk about the different cases in terms of China because they have a lot of manufacturing exports, so they earn a lot of foreign exchange reserves, so they can use this reserve to do a lot of infrastructure. On the other hand, the India is more domestic, more service dominant industries, so they foreign exchange is not as much as China, so they don't have too much budget spent on the infrastructure, which maybe affect their competitiveness in the long term. Okay, then government policies measures in response to deindustrialization. The Thailand used the so-called Eastern Economic Corridors to balance the regional disparity in industrial impairment. Also, they just enhanced the manufacturers in involvement in research and development and smart investment. India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, they just because the service sector actually increase and manufacturing shares decrease, but they use the introduction of new technologies deemed capable of addressing the issue of low productivity in the service sectors. However, if the service sector plays hold a monopolistic power, it may not be necessarily beneficiary for consumers' welfare. And in terms of Thailand, Malaysia, and Cambodia, they just focus on industrial upgrading, put more investment in R&D, attract foreign investment. Okay, and particular activity related to with electrical vehicles, semiconductors, digitalization, and sustainable development. In terms of Philippines, they just because they use a lot of attract a lot of foreign investment, but leading to another challenge because they develop some emerging industry without relying on foreign investment. Necessity protection. This is also inferior industry because if the foreign development is too strong, may just hurt the local industries, hinder their self-reliance and establishment of competitiveness. Okay. And the policy selection is, I think the most of member states more on supply side policy, but less on demand side policies. In policy discussion, many economies tend to privatize supply side intervention, focus on aspects such as skill, manpower, funding, and technology support, but they a little bit lack of demand side policy like government procurement on small and medium-sized enterprises, contract research, and so public-private partnership, as well as environmental factors such as intellectual property right protection, patent protection, tax intensive, and regulatory relaxation. And also macro or mega policy like encompass more detailed policy is crucial. Example like Thailand's Eastern Economic Corridors Plan and India's Make in India initiative, which represent high-level policy, mega policy frameworks, because this mega policy actually facilitate the cross-ministerial integration and coordination, and also fostering national cohesion and providing direction for collective efforts. Okay, then I will move into the final section. It's policy suggestions. I think the first one is a formula stable policy to increase the degree of industrial productions. I think government needs to stable policy like intensive subsidy is establishment of industrial park and science park attract foreign investment, which is beneficial for the to keep the share of manufacturing sectors. The second one is the development of the service industry can replace part of the decline in manufacturing ratios and the decrease in manufacturing employment, but whether productive employment can be maintained must be observed for long periods. Because some people argue that if we introduce new AI or some smart technologies can help the increase the share of the productivity of service industry. But we need to know, because if you take advantage of AI or some new tech, also probably will lose some jobs in the service sectors. And proposing a slogan through a top-level policy to connect more industry or using large-scale project to increase in the share of manufacturing industry. Okay, some of more mega high-level mega policy mega projects are helpful for cross-ministry coordination integration and can build consensus among the people and promote them together. Integrating resources for large-scale project can achieve greater synergy. Okay, different purpose. The first one is a different purpose require different industrial policy tool to achieve the goals. And economic disadvantaged areas such as where the industrial development lacks, policymaker can use some of tax intensive to encourage large-scale industry to relocate to these regions. And the encouragement of local industry development can be facilitated through the guidance from domestic technical institution. For Taiwan's case is because we are a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises. So the government set up some of state-owned research institution. They develop technology and transfer to local SME free or very cheap prices. So help the SME to build up their competence in technology areas. And also promoting the development of technology-intensive industry can be achieved by offering incentive such as 5-year tax exemption, investment deduction for R&D talent, training programs, automation initiative, and achieving net zero emission. This incentive may serve to attract foreign investment and foster growth of high-tech industries. And first one is market-friendly policy are better than policy with government's direct involvement. Market-friendly policy are just help the industrial upgrading and transformation without excessive market distortion. Such policy may include the establishment of science park, provision of infrastructures, and promotion of the industry university collaboration and set up incubation center to foster entrepreneurship among startup firms. The six ones focus and concentrate on resourcing career because small economy doesn't have uh, too much resources, so need to focus. Like use, I guess, focus on target some areas. For instance, like you have a competitive advantage area, you have competitive advantage, and then adoption of the policy mix, which may include the measures such as tax breaks, subsidy, estimation of a science park and incubators, is crucial to enabling industries to achieve enormous scale and make breakthrough. Okay. The fifth one is that different industrial development stage should have a different policy tools, like your early stage of labor intensive products export origin and stages. You can use like a export processing zone, domestic investment initiative, or something like that. But as the economy progress, maybe you just like to develop some technology intensive industries. You can use set up the science park, set up the government owned research institutes, and then develop technologies and then transfer to local firms with more cheaper prices. Okay. And in addition to supply side policy tools, it's also necessary to strengthen demand side and environmental policy tools. So I think from the some of literature, they classify policy measure into a supply side, demand side, and environmental side. In terms of supply side policy measures, financial assistance, manpower assistance, technical assistance. But in the demand side, like government contract research, government procurement for small and medium-sized enterprises, environmental policy size policy like tax incentive, intellectual property right, industrial automation, open laboratory, or stay-on enterprises is actually very important. So you can use these policies to not only the supply side, but you also can use some demand side and environmental side. This is so-called a policy mix. And the last one is that encourage FDI with incentive, but need to have a sunset clause without hurting local industry room for survival. This is has been the Philippines case because of attracting a lot of foreign direct investment, but may squeeze out the opportunity for local industries. So if the government worry about FDI may hurt local industry, they can draw up guidelines and only welcome FDI which complements local industry or where local industry doesn't exist. I think this probably start better to just complement FDI and local industries. I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang, for sharing your expertise and offering valuable insights to the global perspectives on premature deindustrialization in the Asia Pacific region. While the challenges are indeed significant, it's evident that they also present opportunities for innovation and reform. With thoughtful policies and adaptability, economies can address these issues and work toward sustainable development. Now, Dr. Wang, can you please allow me to ask a few questions to further
Okay.
explore the topic?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, to start things off, Dr. Wang, could you elaborate on the key factors driving premature deindustrialization in the economies you studied, particularly in those where manufacturing sectors remain robust?
I think because of some of the economies, government actually overlook the importance of manufacturing industries. So I think that some of the economies, manufacturing sector still remains strong. The first one, the key driver is policy. If you have a policy to foster manufacturing sectors, then they can keep the manufacturing sector in a certain percentage. Second one is you need to just attract some FDI, foreign direct investment, get involved in the global supply chain. Then if you fit in the global supply chain, then you can earn more opportunity for export. And then as time goes by, your technology level will increase as well.
Thank you very much for your response, Dr. Wang.
Okay.
Now, for the next question, moving on to more recent global events. Given the global impact of COVID-19 pandemic, what role do you think it played in exacerbating deindustrialization in Asian economies?
I think the COVID-19 is that because of the shutdown of the some economies. So I think this is caused the broken supply chain. So it will hurt some of the economies without the global deployments. So if you have a global deployment, once the shutdown of China, you can just export from the ASEAN countries, ASEAN economy, or somewhere else. But if you have only one production site, you will get hurt. So I think you need to if you the economies company is big enough to do global deployment, then can avoid some of broken supply chain. But because of the COVID-19, it hurt the broken supply chain. It hurt some of South Asia countries like Bangladesh, like Sri Lanka or something like that. But you takes time. You need to, if you have enough resources to engage in the global supply chain, and you also have like global deployment in different regions, then you can avoid the hurting of COVID-19 and also the broken supply chain.
For the next question, how can economies balance the need for immediate economic diversification with the need to build and sustain a competitive manufacturing sector?
I think the in because I think most of the economy actually seek the balance of manufacturing and the service sectors. But actually, it's hard. But if you have some policies, or you can take the part in the global supply chain, then easier to balance the manufacturing and the service sector. But service sector always have a low productivity, so need to put more R&D investment, like use AI, use financial tools to build up your productivity of service sectors. I think most of the service sector, they just have lower R&D investment. So I think the government should use some of policy to upgrade their R&D investment, then increase their productivities, then the service sector productivity increase, then can increase their income. And also in terms of manufacturing industries, you need to take parts of the global supply chain to remain a certain portion of manufacturing sectors. And also, manufacturing sectors can retain their components through some of servicifications, and the service sector can upgrade their productivity through some service digitalization, use AI technologies, use like blockchain, use a lot of new technology to improve their productivities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wang. Can you discuss what are the potential long-term consequences of shifting from manufacturing to service-based economies, especially in terms of income inequality and job quality?
Yeah. The, I think because of as I just talked about is that the service sectors is productivity actually is lower than the lot of the manufacturing industry. So you need to have like a service sectors like a digitalization. I think you need to have like differentiation, like use more technologies, or you can just work on some of ESG, like just zero carbon emission to work on the differentiation. Then you can increase your productivity or differentiation. Then you can sustain your competitiveness and also the income and also the income and also the job opportunities. Thank you.
And for a somewhat related question, although not an entirely new concept, there's a growing global trend of integrating services into the manufacturing process, often referred to as the servicification of the manufacturing sector, which you already referred to earlier. Could you discuss the relationship between deindustrialization and servicification?
Okay, I think the integration of service in the manufacturing process is a good development trend for manufacturing industry because it can increase the value added for manufacturing industries. For instance, Taiwan's IC Foundry applies a computer-aided design, intellectual property right, and related service to increase the value add, and also to as well to save the R&D manpower and related cost. Another case is just a Garmin company which produce wearable devices, but this company combines the GPS and relevant service to develop more valuable products for consumers. So it is positive in terms of economic impacts. However, the servicification of the manufacturing sector may benefit for some economy with more resources or company with large scale to do so. It may then a little bit crowd out developing economies chances. So it may have some negative impacts. However, a certain portion of manufacturing industry and manufacturing companies with large scale are more capable of doing servicification in the manufacturing sectors. But on the other hand, service sector can also take advantage of technologies like AI, like a financial tool to do more service digitalization. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang.
Okay.
Moving on to another aspect of this discussion, particularly technology. How do you assess the effectiveness of emerging technologies like AI and big data in mitigating the negative impacts of premature industrialization, particularly in the service sector?
I think the AI is because someday AI has been some breakthrough, but the final waves of AI adoption is fit into your business model, your lifestyle model. They can increase the productivities. If the if they do so, I think the AI will cause a revolution and in large extent to increase the productivities. However, AI also have some negative influence on probably the job opportunities. If you doesn't have an AI skill, probably you will lose jobs. So it's two sides of coin. On one side, it can use AI, use some of technology to increase your productivity of service sectors. It's good for the companies, but if you need to have some training skill, you need to have some institution that training more people to use AI. Otherwise, if you don't have AI skill, you may face some employment opportunities. So I think the government should collect some taxes for AI. They have set up a fund for training the low skill laborers or offer some welfare to people without AI skill or something.
Moving
Thank
on
you.
to Yeah, thank you. Moving on to policy, Dr. Wang. What are some of the effective policy measures that governments can implement to counteract the negative effects of premature deindustrialization while also fostering industrial growth?
Okay, I think maybe separate into the different stage. In the early stage, I think you need to attract more foreign direct investment to boost domestic companies, industrial companies, and then take part in the global supply chain. Then you can more job opportunities, more trade opportunity, more job opportunity to retain your a certain portion of manufacturing industry. But as time goes on, it moves to more mature stage. I think the besides of the labor intensive industry, you need to have a more technology intensive industries. In this time, the government, if you some firms still have low labels. In Taiwan's case, we just set up some of state-owned research institutes. They just bear the early risk of developing technologies and then transfer to local enterprises to keep their technology intensive labels. And also we just use a science park, offer some of the industrial cluster then just boost a certain industry, target on a certain industry like a IT industry, like IC industries, and then just as long as the firms that they just keep up with the international components, they can do, then they can do their own. I think the policy is very important. Is a key drivers for retaining the share of manufacturing industry and then retain their companies of manufacturing industries. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking ahead, what emerging trends or strategies do you think are crucial for economies facing premature deindustrialization to consider in their policy frameworks? How can they ensure long term economic resilience and growth?
I think this is a very profound question and is a big question. I think the government should. I think government should have awareness. Manufacturing share is very important. Then I think manufacturing industry, because some of service industries actually is a spin off from the manufacturing industry. So if you have a strong manufacturing industry, you also have a strong service sectors. I think because if the service sector needs to have a high pay, high job opportunities, you need to have some barriers, like you have manufacturing incorporate some manufacturing service or incorporate with some technology service, you can earn a high pay. Otherwise, most of the service industry without the entry barriers, without the technology or manufacturing barriers, is only offer very low skill jobs and low level of incomes. So I think the government should awareness, keep a certain proportion of manufacturing is very important for the service sector, for the national economic balance, and then you use some policy framework, like in early stage, use some tax incentives, use some of tax holiday to attract foreign direct investment, but in the more mature stage, then you can use some market-friendly industrial policy like science park, like state-owned research institution, like environmental protection, environmental infrastructure sectors, infrastructure provision, and also train some skill labors. Then you can then retain a certain portion of manufacturing sectors. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wang, for your comprehensive answers and for sharing your valuable insights throughout the presentation. Before we conclude, do you have any final thoughts for our viewers?
No, I guess that's it.
So, thank you once again, Dr. Wang, for joining us today and for
Okay, thank
generously
you.
sharing your time and expertise. Thank you very much. I'm confident our viewers found your presentation both insightful and engaging.
Thank you.
We hope the insights shared today will help share future strategies and foster a deeper understanding of how to navigate the evolving landscape of global industrialization. Please continue watching the APU Productivity Talks and be sure to subscribe to the APO YouTube channel for more content. Have a great day, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session. Goodbye for now.
Bye.